Yo, welcome back to another video. I'm gonna go over the new UI that came out for Dragonflight. Dropped a few weeks ago. I put a ton of hours into a lot of customization, using it high Mythic Plus content rating and a lot of leveling. With like minimal add-on usage or getting rid of most add-ons. Just wanted to test it out, see if it's something I want to use for Dragonflight going forward. So in this video, I'm going to give you a brief overview of it, some pros and cons that really help me decide with what I'm going to do going forward. And I hope it helps you decide whether you're going to stick with what you've been doing for a long time or you're going to try out the new UI. It is pretty dope. So thank you so much for all the support too. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. We have a month and a half to our goal. You guys have been amazing. If you like the video, like the video. Let's jump right into it. Alright, I'm just going to give you guys a really quick overview of the new Dragonflight UI. I would recommend, if you want to see more in-depth overview of the UI itself, check out Mr. GM's video. He did a fantastic video on the new UI, just kind of overviewing of what you can do with it, how to share builds, or imports, layouts, all that. It's really cool. I love that guy. It does great content. But check out his video. Seriously, I'll put a link down in the description below. But just to go to it, if you don't already know, escape, edit mode, you can customize so much now. You can move your buff frame, your debuff frame. You can move your mini map if you like. I like mine in the top left for some reason. I'm weird, I know, but you can do that. Change your player frame, change your frame size to bigger or smaller. You can move around underneath your character if you wanted to. There's a ton of customization with the action bars. For instance, if I want to go to the modern preset and kind of play around with this, I could. So I could move this around if I wanted to. Make it icon size, bigger, smaller if I wanted certain things. If I want to make the bar visible in combat, out of combat. This grid is a fantastic option, kind of lets you put things in a more specific spot. You can also use the snap feature. If you don't have it on, you kind of move it around more freely, but if you have snap, it snaps it right to the corner of wherever you were close to, whatever box you were close to. Really cool things. You can customize so much: cast bar, talking head frame, where you want it. There's two features you can't move at all, and that is your bags and your micro bar. There are add-ons like Bartender that you could use to move that, which I highly recommend. It's a fantastic add-on. You also can't change the size of your mini-map, which I think is interesting, but it's kind of a big thing for me. But yeah, so that's kind of just a really brief overview of the UI. You can make presets for characters. You can only have 5 account wide, and you can make more character-specific presets. But yeah, like I said, this is a brief overview of the UI. If you want a more in-depth video, check out Mr. GM's video. He does a great job on that. Let's jump into the pros and cons. First pro for me was you get the very classic WoW charm, just with like a new and improved feel. I've loved the WoW UI, the action bars, for so long. I've used a lot of other add-ons like Shadow UI, Elf UI, just other UIs to kind of switch things up, but I always tend to gravitate back towards it. I think the thing was holding me back the most was just the like lack of customization you could do with just the basic UI, and now that you can, that's a very big positive. Second pro, which is huge, and I think it's going to be a big reason for a lot of new players coming into it, is it's very easy to set up and use. It's new player friendly. I think this, the classic WoW, there wasn't a lot of customization to it, and then you had to get a bunch of other add-ons if you wanted to move things around, if you didn't like how something was, and it was kind of complicated. If you're a new player into that could seem really overwhelming. I know it did for me. That's why I tried out Elf UI and Shadow UI and all these other little things to kind of, or Bartender, you know, to move some stuff in the UI that I couldn't before. This really opens up a lot of options, you know, for these new players coming into it that haven't been playing for years, or brand new players to WoW, because there's a lot of them coming in. This gives you a chance to kind of customize the things the way you like and that you want, and get rid of things that you don't. Alright, third pro, less CPU usage. You really don't need a bunch of extra add-ons. You know, you just have the UI, you can get through most content with it. It does the job of multiple add-ons, and I love that. Specifically for someone who plays on multiple different PCs. I mean, I have a laptop that I do when I travel for work or something like that, if I want to play, or gotta get some content done, or if I'm playing on my desktop. You know, it's super nice just to have the UI and have a preset, and I can just bounce back and forth between both. I love that. And less CPU usage for people that don't have a super high, you know, expensive setup or anything like that. That's a big win. Last big pro for me, which was a deciding factor, is you can definitely do most higher end content like M+ or rating, normal, heroic, probably not mythic, with just this UI. Maybe you could do it with mythic, honestly. I would recommend some other add-ons to make it easier for you, like deadly boss mods, you know, details, stuff like that, but really, you don't have to. You can do a majority of the game's content with just the UI and no other add-ons, and I think that is a huge selling point for anyone thinking about using it. Alright, first con for me is you can't move every element with just the basic UI. This is a very small thing, but the bags in the micro bar there, man, I really wish I could move those wherever I wanted. Now, you can't get an additional add-on like, you know, bartender to move that or move anything. So it's minimal, but I don't know, it matters to me, you know? Second one is you have limited scaling options, which is a big deal for me. I like to scale some things down very small. Action bars can go pretty small, which I think is great, but some player frames, raid frames, stuff like that, or even the quest log, I wish I could scale that a little bit differently. But, you know, it is a small thing, but if you like to scale things, some things really large, I think they do a pretty good job with that. Or smaller, you know, you're limited to that again until you get some extra add-ons. Which leads me to my next con is here is you might want to get some extra add-ons that offers some of the same things that the basic UI doesn't. First thing for me, better nameplates. I like being able to see abilities being cast for Mythic Plus more easily, more customization for enemy nameplates themselves, so like Plater or my personal favorite, Threat Plates, or even LVUI and their nameplates. Bartender, like I mentioned before, to move additional UI things that you want to, like the micro bar or the bags. And also Blizz Move to customize how big windows are, like spell books, your spell book abilities, character screen, stuff like that, you know? It helps improve it, and I wish you could do more of that stuff with the basic UI. Last con, and it's the biggest one for me, and maybe these other cons didn't really matter for you guys, but for me this one's huge. It's not LVUI. I have used it for so long. If you like or know about LVUI, which basically almost has every function you could need for add-ons, you lose out on that, especially if you've been using it for a long time like I have. This was a huge factor for me. I also think the LVUI just looks very clean. You're able to customize way more things with and more options too. You know, I also being able to translate it to my laptop back and forth, have it all saved in the same profile. I like that. Two more small things the LVUI really brings to the table too is like not being able to see class covers when you're mouse over a player, you know, like usually like if I hovered over a shaman it would show their name in like blue, you know. Basic UI doesn't do that. LVUI does. It seems like such a small thing, but it really mattered. But I also think being able to inspect people and see their eye level without an extra add-on. LVUI just does that for me. I can expect anybody I want and see their item level. Like, I'm doing a Mythic Plus dungeon, and this guy's freaking cranking damage like nobody's business, and we're the same spec. I'm like, what's his item level? I want to be able to go, you know, inspect him and see that really quick. Yes, there's add-ons for this stuff, but it's just extra steps instead of having one add-on for it all. Again, very small for a lot of people, and you can get other add-ons to help negate these, which I tried, but LVUI having it all of it in one for me was freaking huge. You can probably guess because of my last point there, but I'm gonna be sticking with LVUI. I love it. I have been using it for years, years now, I think. I just love all the customization it brings. I like the basic nameplates that it has, you know. Yes, I get other add-ons to kind of include with that, but I just love the customization. I love the black bars. I think it looks very clean. And like I said, inspecting people's eye levels, hovering over like other players and seeing what class color they are. There's just so many things that you just don't think about until you're doing it. I also like being able to randomly change the font of everything basically in game, and I can do that with LVUI. If you've never used LVUI, I highly recommend downloading it. There's a lot of like saved presets for people that you could just like, oh, I like the look of that one, and you can look it up online and you can import it to your settings. I also have how to set up, you know, keybinds for LVUI if you want to do that. LVUI has almost everything that you could possibly need, and I think that's why I'm going to stick with it, at least for now. I'll probably go back and forth, and maybe if they add more features to it too. The new UI is fantastic. I would recommend trying it out for yourself. Never used LVUI. I highly recommend it. It's my favorite UI to use. I'm going to be sticking with it for a while. Gosh, I love so many things about it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you liked the video. Hope it helped you decide what you're going to be doing, what UI you're going to be playing for Dragonflight. I'm so stoked for Dragonflight. I'm going to be having tons of content coming out all the time. So if you like the video, and consider hitting that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Again, our goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're only a month and a half away. We've gained hundreds this year. You guys have been absolutely amazing. So thank you. Cheers. Hope you have a great week.